But let's talk to the spouse that they have to draw a line in the sand regarding fighting fair and you are not their criminal. How do you break that to them?
Everybody is going to be different. I'm not, you know, John Smith, the cop, John Smith, I'm just making a name, isn't going to be Brian Gonzalez, so everybody, but as a spouse, your cop better than anybody out there. You know them. You know their weaknesses. You know their strengths. You know their vulnerability. You know all of these things, right? And if you're not fighting fairly, you need to have a discussion with your cop and say, hey, if we're going to fight, everybody fights. Making up is the best part. So you got to have a good fight. But if we're going to fight, we need to be fair. And this is what bothers me when you say, you're interrogating me like I'm a criminal. And I've talked to other wives and they've said, yeah, my husband treats me like, he interrogates me.
So you've heard this before.
Oh, I have heard this before. And, the kids, officers' kids, oh my goodness, my dad interrogates me or my mom interrogates me, whatever. Nothing towards men versus women, but it seems like the men are a little bit more interrogating than women, but we're softer. And that's what we're made to do. We're made, God made us to be the ones that are soft and, caring and nurturing. And men are supposed to be strong and more warrior-like. That's just the way it is, right? So I can see where it's the dads or the husbands that are a little bit more tough when it comes to the interrogating of whatever. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You know
Sure.
what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that disrespectfully towards men because it's how you're built, right?
Right.
But as your wife, as your helpmate, it is my responsibility to say, hey, you need to tone that down some.
But it's interesting. We had a conversation with a couple and they were about to be married and she was the cop and he wasn't.
Yes.
And I've been asked this by others where both of them are cops, and we'll get to that here in a second. But he said, I think, something to you that gave him a little more understanding of her, because obviously she was that cop while she was home or whatever the case. He never really got into everything, but you could definitely see he mentioned to you, and I think I heard him say something, oh, after listening to you, it explains a little more about her.
Right.
So I think anyone listening to this show, hearing what Paula has to say, hopefully it's giving you a perspective on things that you have never heard before that maybe your spouse or they are trying to tell you, and for whatever reason you're not listening because you are in cop mode. And I'm going to tell you this: there's nothing wrong with that. What's happening with you and to you, it's fair to say it's normal behavior. You can hear from my spouse the things that I had said or done or whatever, and she just decided to accept those things, yet hold, as she said, her identity. So I think those are very strong points